Frogman Friday.
Yeah, boy. What's up, my people? It's that time again. Welcome to the Frogman Friday Show.
Presented by Transcend, the best peptide and hormone therapy. They put your health first so you can live more and worry less. Go to transcendcompany.com/Birdman to begin your wellness transformation today.
Today, our badass guest is Tim Speer, aka Tim. Navy SEAL, 10 years served, Petty Officer, second class. He's the founder of Red Watch LLC and Tim Speer LLC, both located in San Diego, California. You can catch Tim on all social channels linked to this show. He's also the acting COO for the Trident Table Foundation and the FOB leader for the SEAL Future Foundation. You can also go check out the Hotwash podcast with Nick Betts and Tim Speer, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Brother, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Dude, you're doing a ton of stuff. And before we get into all this, because it's always fascinating to me to see team guys getting out and just like diving into 1,000 things and crushing all of them. It makes me always like, dude, am I doing enough? But before we get into this stuff, I want to talk a little bit about transition because it's something that people consistently want to know more about. Like, how did you transition out of being this super professional into being a civilian and not having what you used to have that you fought so hard to get? So what was your transition like?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. And also, we haven't really discussed this yet, so this might even come as a shock to you. When I left the SEAL teams, I left through a prison cell. So I got out on a bad conduct discharge. So my transition was a little bit different than the most SEALs, a large majority of them.
Okay.
I did, like you said, 10 years. Obviously, I had 2 enlistments. On my second enlistment, deployed to Afghanistan, Yemen, Iraq, and the entire time I was married, I was in a horrible relationship. It was very toxic. Tried to get out of it for years. Told her like this isn't going to work. Said if you divorce me, I'll put a restraining order on you. You get a restraining order put on you, you can't own, operate, or transport firearms or munitions. Scared me off for a while, but that just situation just progressively got worse to the point where on my last command, they were like, dude, we're not going to let you re-enlist because of the issues with your ex-wife. I had a military protective order. There were like child abuse things going on. And eventually, when it all came to a head, found out my ex-wife was abusing my kids, had evidence of it, reported it. They took my kids to foster care. Ex-wife was trying to work with me to try and get the kids back one night. At that point, I had a military protective order saying I can't be around my wife, and there was also a temporary restraining order. She asked me to meet her at Little Club in Coronado. Like halfway into a beer, she's starting a fight with me. I set the thing down and walk out. Says, if you don't come see me tonight, I'm going to kill myself, or that's it, I'm going to kill myself. At that point, I knew where the family car was because she had threatened to drive off the bridge with my youngest son in the back seat. So all my cars, I was the owner of the car. I can track it. Track her down. She's at Naval Base 32nd Street. Sneak up to the car to look in what's going on using dead space, and she's not killing herself. She's creating a new Hinge profile. So I'm like, fuck this. And I start walking away. I'm like, yeah, fuck this. I'm going to say something. I start walking back. She sees me this time, tries to hit me with the car. I break the window out with my Leatherman on the second try. The first try, I'm pretty sure broke my hand. And she's screaming. I'm like pissed. She's, what are you doing? I'm going to fucking kill you. I throw the car in park, rip the door open from the inside, rip her out, go back to move the car. And as I'm walking back, I'm like, what did I just do? She ran away, obviously, like any person. That'd be a scary situation. Drive away. Next day, NCIS rolls me up. Seen your wife in the last 24 hours. I lie and say no. So now that's a false official statement. Communication of a threat, disobeying a lawful order, and assault consummated by battery. 24 hours after that, they throw me in the brig. I pled guilty to all those charges. Apologized profusely, did my time. I was actually in there for 7 months with Eddie Gallagher was in there with me. So now that story's out of the way, we get into my transition. I was an E5. I got demoted to E1 because of that situation. So I left the Navy as a seaman. SO seaman, so on my DD-214, I'm technically not a SEAL from certain people's standards. Yeah, you got to be an E4 to be a SEAL. Anyways, so I felt really ashamed after all this. I was super embarrassed, and I was also pissed at the SEAL teams and the Navy. Like, when you go in to the brig or you're a part of the UCMJ, at the top of your paperwork it says United States of America versus SO2 Spear or Petty Officer Second Class, whatever it was. So I felt, like that it was me against them. And I was pissed. I was ashamed. I was super embarrassed by what I did. And I cut myself off completely from the SEAL teams. I wouldn't talk to anybody. Like, I didn't want to be associated with it. I wouldn't tell anyone I was a SEAL. And I was a felon now. So I'm a convicted felon. I'm like, well, I feel insecure about finding, or, applying for those jobs that I think, or jobs that would pay close to what I was making in the teams. My uncle owns a construction business and he specializes in stucco and plaster. So I started working for him for $120 a day in Los Angeles. Meanwhile, my kids were in foster care and I got 1 hour a week that I could visit them. So I would drive down from Los Angeles after working all week as a mud boy for my uncle. I'd tell him working like a Mexican. And I'd see my kids for that hour, and then a bunch of my buddies who were team guys that were down here, like, not a bunch, a few of them that I still talk to, hired me to do shit like paint their fence or like run electrical through their shed, because I grew up in the trades. Whole family's blue collar as it gets. So I did that to make money until I found a job down here in San Diego doing finish carpentry. So I built and installed custom closets. And that's how I got down here, and I started sleeping on one of my buddy's couches because I didn't have money to pay rent. It was actually another Trade at Land Warfare instructor, Dan Tabor. I don't know if
Oh
he
yeah.
might be one of your instructors actually when you were in
Yeah,
phase.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we've all heard of the psychopath stories of Dano.
Oh, he put me through. Oh yeah.
I love that. So he helped me out a lot. After that, I just kept busting my ass doing that, man. I started going to school a little bit here and there, taking, my GI Bill, but I didn't know what I wanted. Like, I didn't have any passion for anything I was doing, and I was so focused on just getting my kids out of foster care at that point that I wasn't so much career driven, and I definitely had no fucking clue what I wanted to do or what I wanted to be. I just wanted to work hard every day. And then it got to a point where I was like, I need to make more money, dude. San Diego's super expensive. Uh, I started getting more custody of my kids. I worked my way up to 50-50 custody after getting them out of foster care. Neither my ex-wife and I had them. You have to do a reunification program. So, X amount of domestic violence classes, parenting classes, write essays, all these things. And once you get to certain wickets, you get more time with your kids. That being said, I was locked up for 7 months. So my ex-wife should have had 7 months lead on me. She only beat me by 2 weeks, which is how out of foster care, I got 42% custody right there. And it was every single weekend, which that took kind of a toll on my mental health. Because I'd work Monday through Friday, and then every weekend had to go immediately into dad mode for 3 small children. I had no social life at all. But again, like I said, I'm getting more motivated now. Like, I need to make money. And it came back to well, what do I want to do? So I chose a degree path, business administration. And that was just because I needed the GI Bill money. What I tell dudes all the time is like I said, I'm the FOB leader for the SEAL Future Foundation. So, coaching guys through career and education and all that is part of that. If you want to go get a job that requires a degree, go do it. If you don't know, just keep applying for jobs. And then if it's not enough money, apply for a job that makes more money after you accept the first one. Just what you need is experience. And I think a lot of dudes get wrapped around oh, I need my master's degree and I need this cert and that cert and Lean Sigma. It's fucking bullshit, dude. Just go get the experience.
Yeah.
That's what's going to get you the next best paying job. So that's exactly what I did. Took a job as the lead foreman, kind of general manager of a concrete cutting company. Another lead from a team guy buddy of mine, Joey Fio. Did that for maybe 6 months, and the pandemic sent that company under.
Ooh.
So I went back to school, and I would work part-time at the closet company doing finish carpentry. Shortly after that, I got an opportunity to be the operations manager of a warehouse that sold power tools, a lot of concrete finishing tools, sprayers, finishers, stuff like that. Did that for 10 months, and another team guy buddy hits me up. He's like, "Hey, we're hiring guys at Schuff Steel, this company that does structural steel fabrication and erection." Giggity. Hard erections. I was like, "Yeah, I love hard erections. Count me in." And so I signed up. Anyway, so that was a better job. It was a better paying job. I did that for 2.5 years. And then I left there for another opportunity, making more money with better hours. And the big reason was I was looking for better hours. I wound up getting 100% custody of my 3 kids early last summer. So I couldn't. My job at the steel company was sales, so I'd be up 6, 7 in the morning on job sites talking to supers, PMs, and then I'd be up till 2 in the morning entertaining clients, C-suites.
Yeah.
So it's not something you can do as a single father with 100% custody. Now I work more of a 9 to 5 as a project manager in construction. So yeah,
Wow.
that was my transition. It's been a ride, man. I'm still on it. I have to do a lot of shit. What's one thing I think about team guys that you brought up is we do a bunch of shit and want to crush it all. I think my theory behind that is in the teams, man, you're doing something new and exciting every 2 to 3 weeks. It's like, all right, well, we're done with this jump block. Time to dive. All right, we're done with that. Time to go to land warfare. So if you make me do the same thing for more than a month, I'm like, are we going to do something else now? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're right, though. I mean, it's in the teams. It's not just about different blocks of training, but you also have to wear multiple hats. You could be a sniper and you got a lead navigator and you still got to be an assaulter. So you got to have different hats that you consistently wear. And so it does help us outside of the service be able to work within that parameter of like, I can do multiple things. What I've learned, because I've been out since 2010, is I like to scatter myself and then I get stressed out over the shit that I have. It's just like, oh my God, this is so much. And then I can't not say no when I've already committed. So I'm like, all right, I just got to figure out how to condense it. And I always try to. And then sure enough, that never happens. Well, that is the gnarliest transition story I've ever heard. And, I'm sorry that you went through all that, man. That's horrific. And I'm glad that hearing this, that you got 100% custody and that you're moving it forward and you just kept pushing. Dude, I mean, that's what a dad does, man. That's brilliant.
Thanks, man. Yeah. I think I needed it too, man. I was arrogant and cocky and thought I could get away with stuff too, I think. And I was stuck in a very cyclical, toxic relationship. It gave me a perspective. I was in there for 7 months. All I did was read and reflect. I had some real peace and quiet. No phone, no internet.
Wow.
Had a job in there. I worked in the wood shop. But yeah, it was eye-opening.
Yeah, for sure.
I wound up coming back to it though too, like in time I found that I needed to be around other team guys. It made me feel like myself. It made me better too. We really do have synergy together. We feed off each other.
Oh, no question. Yeah. I wouldn't be the person I am today without that experience and everybody in the community. There's no question about it. And you have to have that for part of your soul. In fact, a buddy of mine said this to me about 3 years after I'd gotten out of the service. He's like, something's off about you. And I'm like, what do you mean? And at the time we were growing a charity. I'm working really hard. I'm in a different place. Everything seemed to be functioning quite well in my life. And then he's like, just something seems off. And I was like, am I not doing my job? What is it? And he's like, no. It's just something's off. He's like, you know what it is? You need to go see your brothers. And I was like,
yeah, dude.
Wow, you're right. I've been so busy that I haven't focused on that. And he's like, you need to go out to San Diego. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do that. And he's like, I already booked you a flight. I'm like, are you serious?
Hell so yeah, dude. See, that's the other thing I was going to bring up. We scoop each other up, man.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for like, Joey finding me jobs or buddies hiring me to paint their fences, let me sleep on their couches. Like I was just paying rent with like old guns for a while. I just like, all right. I just kept giving them to people. Like that was all I could do, man. But yeah, like I would not be here if it wasn't for SEAL Future Foundation coming and scooping my ass off the ground, finding me jobs, linking me up with, you know, the health treatments that I needed, because that's part of our transition too, man. Like, I struggled with a lot of blast injuries and drinking from, you know, PTSD type stuff, deployments, and it's been a road. Without our brothers, though, we've got nothing. A big part of what I do at the SEAL Future Foundation for the being a FOB leader is run the community events. And I always argue that we have four pillars at SEAL Future Foundation: is community, health, education, and career. So those are the four pillars. Like, we help team guys after the team's with. We get you plugged up there. And to me, my argument is that community is the most important aspect of that, because without the community, you're not going to know about the other three pillars. And what's the first thing you do when you hear about another team guy or a school? You call another team guy and you go, hey, you heard of this guy? Good dude. Hey, you heard of this school? Good school. And if they say yes, you're like, all right, cool, send it. Without that community aspect, though, we don't find out about all the other shit.
All right. No question, man. Well, let's dig into your entrepreneurial side, because it's so fascinating that every single guy, they're on this just entrepreneurial path. It's like we work for the man for long enough to where we're like, I want to work for this man. And it's not easy, but a lot of guys do it. So let's start with Red Watch. What do you got with Red Watch? What is it? What do you do? How do you tell us everything?
Red Watch, I'm actually a co-founder with three other SEALs, Dave Swartz, Mario Wilson, and Johnny Collins. I'm pretty sure Johnny Collins has been on this show before.
Yep.
So like I said, I was doing business development, sales for a construction company, and part of that is entertainment. One of the things I would do is, 'cause I'm not a big golf guy, dude. It's probably because I'm terrible at it, but I like to make fun of it and say it's not even a sport. It's good. Yeah. It's just because I suck at it. That's the truth. I like shooting. I'm good at that.
Yes.
So I started offering taking people out, and it got to a point where people were asking so much, and it was coming from so many different angles. And Mario Wilson does the same thing in construction for Western Steel Council. So we were doing this so much, we were like, why don't we just start our own company? You know, like, we're kind of doing it for free to entertain people, but then on the side we're doing it to foster your relationships, because that's the biggest part of sales is fostering relationships. So we did, and we employed Johnny Collins and Dave Swartz, because, you know, Johnny's been training dudes, EOD cats and regular people. That was his job for 6 years after the teams. So we got the curriculum, we've got the expertise. Dave was doing the same thing, and he actually works with me as a project manager. So we knew we couldn't do all of this on our own, and we were going to need lots of instructors and organization. And 3 weeks ago, we made the company official, and we already have a backlog with several clients to do basic Pistol 1 courses and experiences on top of that. So helicopter shoots will fly you to and from your destination to the range, teach you a course of instruction, and then take you to a 5-star restaurant and put you up in a sweet Airbnb on the water or something like that. So
That's some James Bond shit right there.
yeah,
Pretty awesome.
like our whole selling point is that it's like, it's high end. Everything's taken care of. You show up on the range, man, and there's, you know, gourmet coffee and healthy snacks and everything you could possibly need.
That's awesome. So that's right. You just created this. You've been doing it for a while, but now you've formally created everything, and now you're moving forward with it. So where is this based out of? Are you doing it nationally, or you do it in one location?
Yeah, primarily. Well, we work in San Diego. We have two main ranges that we use. We will travel. It obviously takes more coordination and lead time. We can make anything work, you know, with the right circumstances. But we have a few ranges we're doing in Texas this summer. Most of them will be here in Alpine, San Diego, if you're familiar. We have an Instagram. That's what we're using right now, primarily. Our email is up there. Everything's in the bio. So if you are interested in getting some training done, we do pistol, rifle. We will be offering medical courses, kids gun safety courses, and we want to just do like family camping trips. One of our ranges has a lake on the range, so the kids can sit behind like the adults while they're on the firing line and just be catching catfish and bass all day.
Oh my gosh. So this is for anybody. Anybody in the United States can actually sign up.
Yeah, like we target more of like the basic shooter. So right now our main focus is on like kids and people who are new to pistol. We get you real good on pistol, and then, as you know, a rifle's a whole lot easier. So we can start getting into more manipulations.
That's
When you show up
amazing.
to our range, there's like, you have a holster, you have a pistol, we get you camis, a shirt. You're set up. You're prepared.
Turnkey and click. That's awesome. I mean, I instantly gravitate towards like, okay, this is perfect for my children. They're a little young right now, but it's the perfect thing for the kids to be able to walk into this because, I mean, every team guy's like, I'm going to train my kids to shoot, but am I the best instructor? Am I the best trainer? You know, I have to separate my emotion from this when talking to them. And you can't get mad at them when they have a live firearm. So that's a whole nother deal.
They're already stressed out. Everybody is. Yeah.
Yeah, man. This is awesome. We'll put that up for sure. Make sure to push that out because everybody needs training, especially our youth, but everybody needs training, especially today. Got a lot of people in the country that are not here legally, a lot of people that we don't trust and we don't know. So you've got to be smart about doing your training and keeping proficient at it. Let's dig into Tim Speer LLC. So you got another one. What do we got there?
Yeah. So for Tim Speer LLC, I guess we should have talked about this one a little more too. I'm a personal trainer. I do one-on-one coaching, and it's mostly just physical fitness. I also offer some nutrition stuff. To be honest with you, it's mostly like success coaching, like getting people and getting them into healthy habits and routines. I feel like a counselor more often than not, because it's mostly a mental game and like talking to yourself to get out there. I use what I call the big four. It's positive self-talk, visualization, box breathing, and goal setting. So just setting, making a big goal and breaking it into small chunks, and then imagining yourself accomplishing that goal and talking to yourself positively about accomplishing that goal. And then the box breathing is like, it's just box breathing. When you get stressed out, breathe, buddy.
Yeah, man. My wife says the same thing. She's a personal trainer, fitness. I call her the guru, but she's always saying, it's more of dealing with the client and actually helping them through all kinds of stuff. You're more of a life coach than you are a fitness coach, per
100%.
se. But it's interesting. It says here that you teach yoga, Pilates, and bar. Is that what you do? I'm kidding.
No, it's like, you're messing with me. Wait, are chicks signing up? Yeah, I teach those.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, that's the big thing, man. I know for me, when I get into lulls, that the first thing that I end up dumping when I'm not feeling like 100% is my workout routine. And I stop on it, which means I'm quitting on myself. And, it's one of those things where it's so hard to quit and then get back going again and build back up, or just maintain little bits, just dial it down a little bit, but maintain every day, or in most days, you'll better serve yourself. But that's awesome. I mean, I see the size of your arms, and clearly you do something in the gym. So
thanks, bro. I needed that today. I needed that pick me.
said
I'm gonna write that in my journal later. Brian said my arms are huge.
Said nobody about me, by the way. So nobody said.
They
good,
always, man. What are you talking about,
dude? That's because we magnified the camera.
We gotta get closer. But I wanted to, before we moved on from that. Yeah, it's about framing it. And I like you said, like that's the first thing to go, but exercise is a keystone habit. So if you make sure that thing is there are a bunch of other habits that are basically sub habits off of that. You're going to do more healthy things, if that makes sense. Like I worked out today, like I'm going to make sure I drink all my water and get my electrolytes.
Yeah, you're 100% right, man, because especially if you tear your ass up in the gym, your body's going to require you to feed. And, it's like people get busy, so then they skip meals and that stuff. So if you're working out, you're going to naturally say, I now have to go. So you're right. There's derivatives off of it that constantly
Brain
come
health, emotional. Yeah.
100%. That's awesome, dude. And are you looking for clients? Can people hire you? How's that work?
I actually, so I have 3 spots open right now for clients. You just go to my Instagram, send me a DM.
Okay.
It's simple as that. I send you a questionnaire after that. It takes a little bit. It's quite a few questions. I want to get to know you, and I want you to think about it, and then we get started. It's totally custom.
Are you focusing on males or are you focus on females too?
Females too.
Okay.
Yeah. When I first started, I only would do males. That came out wrong. um,
No,
I
it
would
didn't.
treat
There's a
males.
short right there. We're using that, clipping it out. That's a short.
but not that came out wrong. You're just gonna leave it there. I do males. All right.
Oh, it's so
Because
good.
I was afraid of that aspect. There's so many differences from, metabolism standpoint. Hormones are the biggest thing. Men are on a 24-hour cycle. Women are on a 28-day cycle. Like their bodies, their hormones are doing weird shit all the time. But with that being said, I realized a lot of this is the mental game. So it's like counseling them through and that self-talk and just being empathetic. Like, I get what you're going through. Got it. Like validating their struggle and coming up with plans together. Like, well, what do you think about this? Can we do that? And I've found that I actually really enjoy training women as well now. They're also a lot better at sharing their thoughts and feedback with me, whereas men are like, no, I got it. Like, they actually tell me, like, women will be like, no, this is why I don't want to do this. And sometimes I'm like, I don't fucking care. That's not an excuse. Other
Yeah.
times I'm like, oh, I didn't think of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, you can't be empathetic for something you don't know. So, and that's the key. It's like when my wife actually opened my eyes to this stuff, because when I met her, she's, professional hip hop dancer, moved into fitness. She's insane with her. I mean, she's just very driven. She's very educated now, and she works with moms primarily. But when she started walking me through this path, I'm like, I'm just so, I guess, ego driven in my head. Like, she's 5'4". She might, punch me later for saying that, but she's 5'4". She's skinny. She's fit as shit. And it's like, what's this little pipsqueak going to do to me when I was first dating her? And she put me through one program, and I was trying to figure out where the ring the bell and just call a training timeout. And she kicked my ass, and I'm like, whoa. And so being able to speak about, like, here's what my goals, where I want my goals to be. These are the things that I struggle with. And so just my metabolism's super high. So no matter what I do, I consume, I just don't want to gain. My body doesn't want to gain weight. I don't get fat, but I also don't gain muscle mass like I want to. And so it's like finding and asking those questions and being vulnerable to say, okay, I want to achieve my fucking goals. So help me get there. Here's it all on the table.
Exactly,
So I can dig what you're doing, man. That's definitely life coaching. The fitness side.
I mean, it's like going into counseling and lying to your counselor the whole time. Like, you're not going to accomplish shit.
That's right.
Make everything worse.
So on top of all this stuff, you're like, okay, I want to start a podcast, and you just you have more hours in the day than all of us. So let's dig into the Hotwash podcast. Why did you start it? Tell us about your teammate, your partner in crime, and what do you focus on?
So I know you remember when Chief Day committed suicide about a year and a half ago, 2 years. I think it was a year and a half now.
Yeah.
Leading up to that, there was Bobby Ramirez.
Bobby was in my sister platoon.
Yeah, that whole year. Taco died from a heart attack somewhere in that same time period. There were, and I had quite a few buddies that tried to hurt themselves. And all I could think was it was specifically after day. I was like, how the fuck did nobody see that? Like, how did we not catch that? How did we not go scoop him up? And I realized it's because we're not talking about stuff. Like, men are afraid to be like, bro, I'm hurting, like this, but, and it could be like, they're embarrassed, like I'm jealous of something, or like, the reality is they're afraid to be called a pussy. And the truth is, we're going to call you a pussy, buddy. And then we're going to give you a tampon and be like, I love you. Like, let's fix this bloody pussy. I love you.
Yeah, man.
Oh, it's true. That's true. And my idea was, okay, well, let's start a show where we have badass fucking dudes open up about a time where they were really struggling, where they were vulnerable. Like, let's say your hero gets on there, and like, let's say your hero is Jocko, and he's like, this is just hypothetical. He says, back in 2006, I was suicidal, and this is my story. This is how I got to that point. This is how I recognized it, and this is how I made a plan to get out of it. And maybe you're some guy listening to that who's in that same predicament. You're like, fuck, man, if he could do it and look at where he is now, like, I can. And he's talking about it. He's making it okay to talk about us being weak, because we are. It's not even weak. Like, we're just human, and you're going to have moments of struggling. So the idea behind the Hotwash is to, and it sucks because Born Primitive just came out with the Hotwash, their own version of, or their own podcast called the Hotwash. So same exact name, is to talk to high functioning. It started off as males, but yeah, it is, because it is more focused on males. You know, men are the guys that are shooting up schools and doing all the violent acts that we see on the news. Talk to these high functioning men about a time where they struggled and how they got through that.
Wow. It's fascinating and so true that, you know, like we say, we're going to call you a pussy still because that's our humor to show love. But at the same time, if you stop and say, I'm hurting, man, we're going to read that right away and be like, okay. And it pauses you to say, all right, we got to meet him where he's at and figure this out. And we internally police that stuff. But being able to get out there and be vulnerable and say, you know what, it does suck, but there's a point in time where you can't carry it by yourself anymore. And you should never have to get to that point. You should be able to air it out pretty quickly. Like, man, I mean, most of my shit was like, you know, pre-military. It's not like I had a horrible childhood, but stuff apparently irritated me to where I locked it up and I didn't deal with it. But if you just lock everything away and you don't ever go back to that box and pull stuff out and start to think through it and get through it, and you don't tell people about it, you're going to find yourself in a deep predicament. So now it's like, man, you see a car accident, you see somebody who is injured or killed. It's not normal day to day. It's going to affect you. And so, call somebody and tell them, hey, like today I'm not feeling so great and just wanted to talk it out, man, and see if you have any feelings like that. And they're like, fuck yeah, I do. Absolutely. Because again, we're put on this pedestal to be, this whatever people can see or believe us to be today. But at the end of the day, they're not factoring in the fact that we're just human beings who were so eyes on the prize to become special operators that we went for it. But we're still humans and we still operate the same way. Although I did read watch a short video that said that the number one place that psychopaths go is to becoming SEALs and special operators. So I was like, well, that's cool. I mean, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yeah, we're fucking crazy. Oh, all right. I'll give it to you.
Yeah, man, for sure.
That's fair.
But being vulnerable is, man, it's one of the gifts of strength. And that right there, like when I had to, and it's funny, I had to go through this just recently, about 2 years ago through almost present day, where we had a project that was massive and all of a sudden it fell apart before it even started because we lost a massive donor. And to try to figure this thing out put me into a spiral. And the good thing about it was, even though it was spiraling, I maintained sobriety to keep myself sane.
Good for you.
It's very healthy for me. But the other side is I started to ask for help right away.
Yeah.
And that really, I mean, it flipped the script to where we actually moved it forward. And then you see your army like, okay, I'm going to jump in and help out. And now, you're not alone. And it just cleans that. It scrapes the plate. So keep talking, man.
It's amazing how much love you'll feel just for when you finally ask for help, or when your boys, your homies realize it and they just give it to you. It's the most overwhelming feeling of being feeling love that sometimes that's all a guy fucking needs, and he's like not depressed anymore.
Yeah, man. Well, keep doing that, dude. Yeah, we got lots to talk about on that front, but I want to come on your show because I'll share that stuff. I've been out long enough now to where I've pretty much aired all my baggage out to people, and I'm like, it's all good. Like, I don't need to impress anybody. I am married. I'm grateful for my wife. I have 2 beautiful kids. So I look at it, I'm like, I don't have to really date anything or show off or any of that stuff anymore, to where I can just be me. And I'm a dork and a nerd, and I'm cool with that. And I'm proud of being able to be back in that world of me. And so that. I'm going to send it. So the Hotwash podcast, we're going to obviously put all these links out. I want to tap into a couple other things here because, again, you are multifaceted. So we've got the Trident Table Foundation, which you're currently acting COO. Talk to us about the foundation, what you guys do.
Yeah, so Trident Table Foundation, which was founded by Dave Swartz, our CEO, uh, we we started Trident Table Foundation because we saw a gap in the nonprofit world, and Dave has an extreme passion for the culinary arts. He loves cooking, and we realized, what's the one thing that every single event needs, whether it's golf, gala, range, whatever. Everybody's got to eat. And that's actually our motto: is everybody eats at Trident Table Foundation. We focus on the Gold Star families, but what we'll do is we'll piggyback on to these other nonprofits and foundations. We'll come in, we'll do all the catering. We'll even do cooking classes on the side if it makes sense, donate all of the food and raffle off some of our own items to raise money for Gold Star families. To make sure that they're taken care of. And sometimes that's, just odd things that they need around the house. But if anything we can help with, what we like to focus on is making sure that they have everything they need to feed their family. It's the one time a day where everybody has to drop what they're doing and spend some quality time together. So that's very important to us, and we want to make sure that these Gold Star families have it. So we'll work with them on what we call a custom cooking solution. Go in their home, see what they like to cook, how many people they need to feed, and what their favorites are. So for an example, like if a family wants to get into smoking, we'll send you a bunch of links for different types of smokers, dishes that you may be interested in. And then we work with them to select the right size and make sure that they're taken care of.
So you send them, you were mentioning, you send them like the pros and cons so they can really make a definitive decision on like, this is best for us to multi-use out of it. And so it's
They love it.
customizable. That's awesome,
Yeah.
man.
We donate some to active duty and retired SEALs, and we do the same thing. We send them the links, give them the pros and cons of each of the smokers or flat tops, and then they make a decision. Sometimes they come back with stuff we didn't even think of. As long as it works for you, that's all we care about.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. I wouldn't send that out to too many team guys because team guys are gear hoarders and then they hear the
Oh,
word
100%.
smoker and you're in trouble.
We fucking know that because we're the same way. But like, so what? And this is one of the most important parts to me in general. What what we so we also focus on crisis response for these families as well. Blake Kutach, who is a retired SEAL, his daughter was diagnosed with kidney cancer about 3 weeks ago. So right now we have a GoFundMe going for Blake's family, the Kutach family. We're trying to raise $150,000, and the link for that's on the Trident Table Foundation website as well as the Instagram. You go to the Instagram, it'll take you to the website, or you could just go to my profile. Any one of my profiles will somehow link you back to Trident Table Foundation.
Okay.
As well as there's a GoFundMe for a family that has some flooding damage, Gold Star wife, who just doesn't have the funds to pay for the repairs.
Okay. We'll get those links out for sure. We'll share them out.
Thank you so much.
Of course, brother. Well, I'm sure a lot of people have heard. I mean, obviously, there is a ton of charities out there that are SEAL derivatives or have the name SEAL in them, and it's hard to make sense of who is what today. But one that you've been hearing a lot about is the SEAL Future Foundation. They're really doing great stuff. They're growing. They're expanding exponentially. They're doing it right. And you're a FOB leader. Can you explain what a FOB leader is and then a little bit about the foundation?
Yeah, so SEAL Future Foundation has FOBs, which in military terms, if you're not aware, is a forward operating base. And every city is its own FOB. So Los Angeles is a FOB, San Diego, Orange County is one. And then we have them all over the country. Most major cities, not all of them, and they're still in development. I happen to be the leader, one of the three leaders of the San Diego FOB here. And like I
Which
said,
is a
my
big one.
focus. Yeah. San Diego and Virginia. LA is a pretty big one too. Apparently, a lot of SEALs like to get into acting and writing books or something. Um,
You don't say.
anyways, I had to make fun of us. Yeah, so uh, my focus as the FOB leader is to make sure that I get everybody connected through those 4 pillars, and that's again health, education, career, and community. So at least quarterly, we'll throw a social event, and that can be just meeting at a bar for beers with the boys. We've done go-kart racing. We're trying to do some skydive tunnel stuff, ranges, um, sporting events. We have we have a small fund to put these things on, at least get people tickets or pay for like your first round of drinks. I have a setup here with one of the restaurants where the first Thursday of every month, team guys can go in and them and their spouse get a drink on the house. Just first Thursday of the month, I'm not going to say it because there's still active duty guys that go to those events.
Sure.
But yeah, it's the SEAL Future Foundation really helped me a lot. Helped me find my jobs when I got out, and also it was my sense of community. They asked me to be the FOB leader, I think in 2019 when they first started having FOB leaders. So I think I'm one of the originals. I wound up stepping down for 6 to 10 months because I had to focus on getting my kids in a good spot. But then I came back, and my job is just to coordinate these social events and ensure that when we capture people into the FOB, I ask them, what do you need help with? What are you looking at? Like you and I were talking earlier about your buddy who was getting out, and you're like, extend, dude, you need to have a plan.
Yeah.
So a large part of my effort right now is on capturing more of the active duty guys. So if you're an active duty guy and you're listening to this podcast, go to the SEAL Future Foundation app and apply. We'll let you in. We'll verify you're a team guy because there's a whole database.
Yeah.
We only let team guys into the SEAL Future Foundation app. There are civilians in there, but they're not allowed in on our communication channels. So we have different channels for just the team guys to communicate. And the reason I want to capture more of those guys is to help them make that plan through our 4 pillars. Like, all right, dude, like, what do you want to do for work? Have you started getting an education for that?
Yeah.
How's your health? Because no, there's not a single team guy that has really taken care of himself since he's been active duty. Like, we all hide it.
Right.
And when you get out and you realize, holy shit, it takes like 2 years just to get my hormones checked. And SEAL Future Foundation comes in and helps you out. They're the leading edge for the health treatment stuff. That's a whole nother podcast if we get into the health stuff. So
Sure. Yeah. Well, we got a lot to talk about on that health stuff because we're 100% right. I mean, we got to start treating ourselves like we care about ourselves again. And it starts with each one of us. Like, I got to take ownership over my own life and make sure that I'm good. Otherwise, I'm not good to anybody else. So that's awesome.
Keystone habits, baby. Yep. If you're not right, you can't do anything right.
100%, dude. Well, you've got an exceptional amount of stuff going on and everything's moving forward, which is really cool. And I'm super happy to hear that because, I mean, it's kind of a roller coaster we've been through just in the short 45 minutes on the show of your post-service life. We haven't even gotten into your military career, which that will be for another time. But it's amazing how much road you've traveled, brother, in a short period of time. But to see you coming out on top, it makes me proud to be a team guy and to be a brother. And I want to see you keep going. And if there's anything that I can do to help you and your missions, you just send the word. I'm going to flip the script on you because I do this to everybody and seems to kind of gunk them up. But we always close with who is your hero and why?
Oh, I feel like I have a lot of heroes. One thing I say a lot is I surround myself with people. I choose my friends, my friend group, social circles based on people I want to be like. Even if it's just like one little thing I want to pull from them. When I was younger, I would always say my grandpa was my hero. And he still is. I just think that I have a lot of them now. And the reason I would say that is he was a Marine. His wife died when my mother was 9 and left him with 5 children. But he just put his head down every day. He was struggling. He was hurting. Like, I know my grandpa drank himself to sleep every night. But he showed up every day for his family, and he always spoke his mind no matter what and worked his ass off. So I wanted to be like that. In fact, I tried to join the Marine Corps, but a Navy boatswain's mate swooped me up. on my way into the recruiting office. So I'm up in the Navy.
That is amazing. What was your grandfather's name?
Jack. Yeah, my oldest son is named Jack after him.
It's awesome, man.
Other than that, yeah, dude, I think there are dozens of team guys I could list, friends, family that have just taught me things throughout life. Like I think after the whole brig ordeal and really getting humbled hard, and having so many people reach out to me and help me, it really did. It gave me perspective that, like, a lot of guys get from the psychedelics, like how small you are, how insignificant. And I don't mean that in a way to put myself down. It's just that I am a product of everyone else I've let create me.
Yeah. Oh, there's no question. I mean, I always joke about this. You know, if I were ever in a position to get some kind of an award, which does not happen, or just you are doing so amazing, you look at it and you're like, oh, I'm not, because everybody, I mean, how many thousands of people have weighed into making you who you are, helping you become who you are? Every single thing, opportunity, chance that happens is by a multitude of people. And so it's like when I don't have to take credit or the pressure of saying you're welcome or any of that stuff, because it's a lot of people combined, actually. But you got to note that, you know, and that's the big key. When you can circle back. That's amazing, dude. Well, we're going to share all these links out with everybody and push people to you. And in the interim time, we'll be talking, because we're going to do a lot of stuff together in the future. I'm going to wrap with you offline about that.
I'm so happy you reached out, man. Yeah. Like, I'm super excited.
Absolutely, man. And same here, dude. I can't thank you enough for sharing just a part of your story, man, and being vulnerable and helping other brothers out, because we need more guys doing that. So keep at it. And anytime you have anything that you want to put out there publicly, just send it. The show is for you and all our brothers. It is your show. So we'll do it up.
I love you, brother, man. I love saying that. We all need to say that to each other more, because I do. I fucking love you guys.
Frogman Friday. Long live the brotherhood.